Hello? Hello?
Podcast Network Asia. Hey guys, welcome back to Small Talk, small conversations with huge impact. My name is Alec Cuenca and I'm your host. And before anything else, I would like to greet each and every one of you. Welcome back to the show. If this is your first time, then welcome to the show. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. And if you do, go ahead and check out the other amazing episodes because they have a lot of amazing insights that you can learn as well. And if this is your nth time listening to the podcast, welcome back to the show. I am so excited that you're here. I know that you clicked because of the title, and the title is all about productivity, and we're going to talk all about that. So this is why I'm really excited, because I know that we're just, if you are listening to the podcast, that means you're invested in improving yourself. And so we can, as much as we can, we get to learn different ideas and different angles on how we could improve ourselves on a day-to-day basis. And I know that this episode could do just that. Now, we have a lot of things to talk about, so let's dive right in. The first way to maximize your productivity is do the hardest things first. The first way to maximize your productivity is to do the hardest things first. You need to do the hardest things while you're still at your best, as you still have a lot of energy. If you do the easy things first, you won't have enough energy to do the hard things. And this is something that I am practicing lately. And so I feel like I have accomplished so much when I do this, because if you guys don't know, I try to put down I have a to-do list. I have 6 tasks to do for the day. Before I go to sleep, I write them down so I make sure that I am intentional with the day that is coming. And when I wake up, I review them. What are the things that I need to do? I write 6 of them. And so I look at them and figure out which is the hardest one here. And I'll do that. Because if I do that, I'll feel like now I can do anything, because my brain knows that I've done the hardest and the other things are relatively easier. So this is just going to be easy for me. But, here in Small Talk Podcast, we love contradicting ideas. I asked this one to one of my good friends, Mish, who also has a podcast called The Misconceptions. And I asked her, do you do this? And she said no. And I said, why? And she said that she gets really overwhelmed when she does the hardest thing. And so when she does the hardest thing, she gets so overwhelmed and her brain gets really stressed. So first thing in the morning, she gets really stressed, and she'll have no more energy moving forward. But what she does is she inserts the hardest thing in the middle. She'll try to do some quick kills on the to-do list, like the easiest 2, and then she'll do quick kills on it, and then she'll have the momentum to do the hardest things in the middle. So it may work for you as it may work for me. I love doing the hardest things first because I just love to challenge myself. But if it doesn't work for you, then that's fine. You can put it at the middle. Just make sure that the hardest things are at the top of your priority. Because if not, if you're just going to push it all the way down, then chances are you're going to get tired at the end and you won't have enough energy to do the hard things that you need to do. So always try to put it at the top of your priority, or at least like 2 to 3 on the to-do list that you need to do. So that's the first thing. You need to do the hardest things first. The second thing that you need to do to maximize your productivity is to break down your tasks into smaller tasks. I am a firm believer of focus, okay? But if we focus on the big tasks that we have, then chances are we're going to get overwhelmed. But it turns out that if you have this big task and you break it down into smaller tasks, they become easier to do. And so there's this one thing that Mish shared. I keep on talking about Mish here because Mish is a productivity addict. So if you want to learn more about productivity hacks, go ahead and check out her podcast at Misconceptions. And yeah, as I was saying, Mish shared something really special on our live stream last Thursday. and she showed this graph or this photo. Imagine a square that has a full color in it, a full color red. And that's your dream in life. Now, the trick here, the next step is to turn your dream into goals. So you need to define certain goals in your life to achieve your dream. So you're going to put horizontal lines across the square. So now you have 5 layers of horizontal lines or layers. And then you need to break your goals into steps, into smaller steps that you can do to while you're not being overwhelmed to reach your goal. So you'll insert vertical lines along the square. So now you have small boxes, okay? And that will be your steps. And then you need to highlight just one step and take it one step at a time. We get so overwhelmed because we have so many things to do. We have so many to-do lists. But it turns out that if we just focus on a small task, that will actually give us the momentum and the motivation as well to keep moving forward. I have this principle called the do something principle. So every time tinatamad ako, I just say na, okay, I'll just do the smallest thing, the simplest thing that I could do for this project. So if I'm trying to write something, then at least sabihin ko sa utak ko na just the title. Okay? So when I write the title, nagulat ako, sige, andito na rin ako, sulat ko na, moving forward. So for example, maghuhugas kayo ng plato, na ito yung sobrang daming hugasin. Like, your goal is to wash the dishes, pero sobrang dami. Na patong-patong na, naipon na. Like, I just tell to myself, okay, yung baso lang muna hugasan ko. And nung hinuhugasan ko na yung baso, nasisipagan na ako. Sige, dito na rin ako, hugasan ko na lahat. If I break down my big task into smaller tasks, it won't seem overwhelming, and it will give me the motivation and the confidence to just start and do something about it. Because when I do, I carry on that momentum and matatapos ko na yung big task na I assigned to do. So that's the second way to maximize your productivity. Break down your task into smaller tasks. The third thing, or the third way that you could do to maximize your productivity is to schedule everything and follow through. You need to maximize your 24 hours in a day. We all have the same timeline. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. And especially here in the pandemic, parang tumatakbo na lang yung oras, hindi na natin napapansin. So we need to be intentional with how we spend our time every single day. Otherwise, we'll just waste it. Hindi natin namamalayan, tumalagpas ang oras nang wala tayong ginagawa. Hey guys, before we proceed to the rest of the episode, I just want to share something that I discovered recently. I am a firm believer that we need to protect ourselves and our data online. We need to securely access different apps, different websites, different entertainment services as we browse across the internet. And a good thing that I learned about NordVPN. NordVPN makes sure that all of our data stays safe behind a wall of next generation encryption. It's the fastest VPN. We don't need to sacrifice speed for better security. It also offers uninterrupted streaming, and you can use it on multiple devices. We partnered with NordVPN through Podmetrics for you guys to also enjoy the same experience. They have an amazing promo right now that allows you to get 73% off of the 2-year plan plus 4 months free when you use our link in the description and code before checking out. They also offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Sign up for a NordVPN account now. And so, scheduling your day, hindi ibig sabihin na you're gonna schedule everything about it na parang. Now, scheduling your day doesn't mean that you're gonna put work in everything that you do. Scheduling everything means that you will also be intentional about your rest. And I love this concept that I learned. It's called schedule the nothingness that you do. The nothing time in your day, because it's important. We make sure that we have breaks, diba? We take rest very seriously. And so when we're trying to schedule in a day, I realized that I become more productive when I even put the rest time, the lunch time, the exercise, the light work, the hard work. I just make sure that I put everything in schedule so that even yung kunyari, I'm going out, I'm gonna schedule that. Okay, hang out with this guy, meet with this person. I put everything down kasi I make sure that I maximize the 24 hours that I have. And also, it helps me live the day with intention. Hindi na lang ako basta-basta kumikilos na walang direction ng araw ko. I'm intentional with it, and at the end of the day, I feel like I have accomplished a lot of things because I was able to follow through with the schedule that I have. It's important that you schedule it, but it's more important that you follow through with your schedule. It takes discipline sa simula, pero as long as you get the hang of it, na parang, your body becomes you program your body to do the things that you need to do. It will become a habit, and eventually, productivity becomes a lifestyle for you because you can do or achieve a lot of things. So you need to schedule everything and follow through. That is the third way to maximize your productivity. Number 4, one way to maximize your productivity is to automate everything. I realized that a lot of the things that we do now, it's online, right? And so one way that I love doing recently is that I remove all the unnecessary stress or all the unnecessary time grabber from my daily schedule. And so when I learned to automate the things that I do online, such as paying the bills or paying for subscriptions or having transactions, sending money, receiving money, as much as I can do that, I try to automate them because it gives me so much space in my mind. Now I can think about the things na mahalaga talaga that could actually help me with my work. Kasi yung mga simpleng bagay, parang wala na dapat siya sa utak mo. Hindi mo na dapat siya consciously iniisip. Dapat automatic na siya. It just frees up so much space in your head, and it will allow you to think more clearly and do the things that will actually help you in being productive. But it's not just you automating everything. You need to automate it wisely. And so with a lot of options that we have online in the different platforms that we have, I recently learned a hack, or I recently learned something that really helped me a lot. It changed how I do online transactions. It's when I learned about GrabPay, and it's the only platform that has no transaction fees. And I've been using, different platforms for my online transactions, such as paying for bills and sending money. But the smallest fee, even it's like 25 pesos or 50 pesos or 15 pesos, ang sakit. Ang sakit na parang nakukuha siya every time you do a transaction. And when you do a transaction, you transact 2 to 3, 4 times, maybe 5 times a day, and that already amounts to 100 pesos. And if you do that for a week, parang sobrang laki na nababawas sa'yo from your money. And when you are in this adulting life, mahalaga yung konting barya na yun when you're trying to save up for money, when you're trying to manage your finances, yung mga ganong maliliit na transaction, sobrang halaga na nun. And so it was really, really helpful for me when I learned about GrabPay. I think this is the only platform that has no transfer fees. And you could also cash in without any fee. So just link your bank accounts and then connect it and then, cash in every time that you want. There's a lot of things that you could do as well. You could, and every single time that you do a transaction, you get a reward. If you get a reward, then you can earn points, which you can use for your online transactions as well. So it's a win-win-win situation, and it can be used for other transactions outside your app or outside your phone. When you buy things as a grocery or any adulting thing that you are doing with your life. So make sure that you check out GrabPay because it really is helpful. Hindi lang basta i-automate mo lahat ng ginagawa mo. You need to automate it wisely. So yeah, pick an e-wallet that is not only helping you do online transaction, but is helping you, save as well as you prepare with what you need to do in the future. Right now, in this productivity, we need to automate everything because when we don't know what to say no to, makukuha ng attention natin. So use this platform and find a way that you could automate everything while at the same time, hindi masakit sa bulsa mo. Okay, so that's the fourth one that you need to remember. You need to automate everything and automate it wisely. Now, the fifth way to maximize your productivity is take breaks. Guys, I am a firm believer of the importance of breaks. I use the Pomodoro technique every time I'm working on something. The Pomodoro technique is as simple as you take 25 minutes chunks of your work and then you separate it with 5-minute breaks. This will help you prevent burnouts. And also, when you allow yourself to take breaks, your mind recharges. And so you can do the work more efficiently and more productively. Do not underestimate the power of taking breaks. So take breaks. May it be short breaks or long breaks or lunch breaks. Any type of breaks will be beneficial for you. Okay, you have deadlines. Okay, you have a lot of things to do. But if you're not going to take your break very seriously, it will lead to you being burned out. And that's the least that you could do. Because if you feel burned out, if you get to a point where you are burnt out, you'll need to have a 2-day, 3-day break or vacation. And then, dun pa, mas malaki yung mababawas doon kasi isang araw yung kakailanganin mo or minsan isang linggo pa para mabalik ka sa dati mong form. So para hindi ka na maabot sa burnout, please take breaks. It will help you with your productivity. So those are the 5 things that can help you maximize your productivity. Number 1 is do the hardest things first. Second is break down your task into smaller tasks. Third is schedule everything and follow through. Fourth is automate everything wisely. And number 5 is take breaks. So yeah, I hope that you learned something from this episode. If you like this episode, go ahead and share it on social media. Tag me at Small Talk Podcast. And if you are listening on Apple Podcasts, make sure that you leave this podcast a rating and review. It helps the podcast a lot. You are the reason why the podcast keeps on growing so much. So yeah, thank you guys for listening. This is Alec Cuenca. This is Small Talk, small conversations with huge impact. And I will talk to you guys next episode. Bye-bye.
The views and opinions expressed by the podcast creators, hosts, and guests do not necessarily reflect the official policy and position of Podcast Network Asia. Any content provided by the people on the podcast are of their own opinion and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, or anyone or anything.